If you haven't watched part 1, click on the link on iTab above to a clear and better understanding of the story. Update: my wife and I were intimate, and she said another man's name during S*X. He's a mutual friend. I'm at a loss. How do I navigate this? I couldn't respond to everything, but the outside perspectives helped. A general consensus was that my wife and I needed therapy to tackle this. I knew that. But I delayed. I was too embarrassed. The thought of bringing it up in counseling made my stomach turn. Saying it out loud, admitting that my wife had said another man's name during our moment, felt unbearable. But I knew it needed to be done. She didn't take it well at first. Defensive, accusing me of throwing her under the bus. I disagreed. I wouldn't throw her under the bus. The truth is, we never planned out our therapy topics beforehand. Maybe we should have, but everything just spilled out. We talked over each other. The therapist had to step in, acting as a referee. She called for a timeout, told us to breathe, to refocus. The goal wasn't to attack, it was to find a solution. That's when we actually talked. The therapist asked my wife how she would feel if the roles were reversed. She hesitated. Then, finally, she admitted it. If I had said another woman's name while we were having sex, on our anniversary, she wouldn't have handled it well. At all. She apologized for downplaying my feelings. I appreciated that, but it wasn't enough. I knew she wasn't being fully honest about why she said his name. I pressed. She tried to dodge it, at first. Said she didn't want to hurt me more than she already had. But I told her that lying was what was hurting me now. That's when she confessed. During a period when we weren't having sex, she had engaged in fantasies to satisfy herself. One of them was of him. I knew the stint she was talking about. We'd been distant, arguing, sleeping in separate rooms, barely speaking. It was a rough time, especially with our son still so young. I asked how long she had been fantasizing about him. She said off and on that it wasn't about him necessarily, but about the taboo. She swore it meant nothing. That it was just something in her head, not something she actually wanted. I tried to hear her out. I tried, but I couldn't relate to any of it. She's always been enough for me, during the good and the bad. I never needed to imagine someone else to stay connected to her. I told her that I knew our marriage wasn't perfect, but I thought we were getting better. We were reconnecting. We were being intimate again. She swore she didn't indulge the fantasies anymore. I called bullshit because if that were true, then how did she slip his name in the middle of our moment? She insisted it was a mistake. That she had been replying to his texts in the group chat that day, that she was overwhelmed by what I was doing to her, and his name just slipped out. I didn't buy it. I asked why she hadn't told me the truth earlier. She said she was afraid. That our marriage was already fragile, and she didn't want to be the one to shatter it. She kept saying that she didn't want him, that she didn't want anyone else, that she only wanted me. That's why she was fighting for our marriage. The session was a lot. Too much. After she finished talking, I couldn't even process it all. She looked at me, waiting. Please say something, she begged. All I could manage was, I need some time. I still don't know how to feel. I believe she was more truthful this time, but it doesn't make it easier. And no matter what she says, I don't think I'll ever see her, or him, the same way again. I want to work on my marriage. My wife and my son mean the world to me. I just don't know if I'll ever be able to forget.